That's why I never became an actor. I was a singer, you know that, right? Yeah, but I didn't like to go to rehearsal. Sing it again. Sing it again. I never listened to no's in my life. You tell me no, and I'll think about it. I think I could do that.
We dance, we paint. Absolutely in love with this documentary. I love that it just jumps right in, and you know, we're fully aware, right, pretty much right off the bat, that this is homeless people or previously homeless talking about their art and their gifts. And I just love the perspective of this. I love how the one woman said her parents were like thinking that painting was wasting her time, but eventually they gave into it. I love, someone said, you stay in there and you don't, oh, you stay in there and you don't owe me nothing. That moment brought tears to my eyes, right along with the man talking, when he, you know, had to was confronted by the person he owed thousands of dollars, and he thought he was going to get in a fight or, you know, get killed by this guy, and he basically just said, stay in there, and you don't owe me nothing. That's huge. I mean, you know, if you saw that in a movie, you probably wouldn't believe it, but it's huge. And I love how they said, if you're an artist, you're not creating, you're not fulfilling your life. And just, there's just so many moments I loved about this. The stone soup, you know, if we all bring what little bit we have to the table, we will all be well. We will all eat. I love the use of black and white and color. The use of it was so great. And, you know, showing all the pictures throughout. The pictures were great. The photography was really well done too. The other quotes I liked: I was held captive in my own mind. You reap what you sow. I have the now, have to make the most of it. Just all of it. And then if you do escape, you get into art / philanthropy, etc. Just a lot of good stuff. And I love how the guy talked about how his teacher said a lot of good art comes out of poverty, but that it just looks like it. So that is it left me thinking, what does that actually mean? Does it really come out of that? Does it come out of our angst, you know, the struggles we go through, or does it not? Yeah, is it just a trick to think we always have to stay in this, like artists always have to stay in this tormented place to be able to have art? And I like how she said it just seems like it. So just really well done. I love this, and I hope you guys do really well. So great job.
This was fantastic. Really, just so much life and character. I could listen to each one of these people just speak all day long. They were just that interesting to me. The way it was all put together, the pacing, the editing, the music, all fantastic choices, and really just makes it this real joy to sit down and watch and listen to, and yeah, just hear all these great unique experiences put together. Yeah, really enjoyed the way, again, it was edited, and a lot of the choices there stylistically fantastic, and it's already really compelling content to begin with. So this one just had all the elements to make it really a thoroughly enjoyable film.
We are dance, we are paint. I thought this was so beautiful, and such an interesting perspective, and has such valid points that they brought up with art and where inspiration comes from, where creativity thrives. And you know, a lot of times art does come from adverse circumstances, and like one of them was saying, that you don't need to have gone to school to be able to make art. You don't, it's like he was saying, you don't need an English degree to get your point across. You might be able to do it better if you've gone to school for it, but you certainly don't need it. It's not a requirement. And art is one of those few things that is like that anybody can do. Your level, that's completely something else. But the base ability to create art is something that everybody is capable of. And like I said, to your proficiency is definitely going to vary person to person, talent and otherwise. But the base ability, that's for everybody. And I think that is such a beautiful thing to highlight, such a beautiful message to highlight, because when we, see people in the street and we see, things that we have trouble connecting to or we have trouble accepting because they're harsh realities, and it's hard to put yourself in that situation. It's hard to understand the best way to help. It's hard when it feels like such an overwhelming problem and you don't know where to start or what to do. It's such a lovely point to make that they're still human and that they can still create, and that they, have gone through things in life that maybe you haven't, and maybe that drives their art. And I think that it's such a beautiful overall message, and to give perspective, which is what one of them brought up, in not making snap judgments and maybe going in a little bit more open-minded, and maybe starting to try and change the conversation about how people talk and how people get referred to. And I think that it's such a beautiful message, but the art is lovely, and it's something that I don't have that experience to pull that creativity from. And what they were saying about what art comes from, what art is inspired by, what drives creativity, what drives passion, what sparks inspiration, all of that is, different person to person. But there's some beautiful art out there that I could have no hope of making, not just because I don't have the talent for it, but because I don't have the experience that goes along with that moment, with that painting, with that picture. I don't have that experience. And valuing the person as a whole and everything that they went through to drive that moment along with the art, you gotta value it all. And I think that it's such a fantastic film.
We dance, we paint. I think paints a brighter picture of humanity in a place that often gets turned a blind eye. So we have this individual, and he is contemplating a Shakespeare quote. To be or not to be, that is the question. And as he's sitting here and he's breaking it down, and he brings it to terms that we can relate to in modern day. To be an artist, to be a singer, to not to be a crackhead, to not be a crackhead. And as we face these societal challenges that life often gives us, we have to sort of adapt and change with what life has provided us. And we have these choices that we are believed to be able to have the power to make and not make. And so I think here we get to see people who have challenging pasts, colorful lives, and seeing the capacity of being able to still expand, explore, create, be human despite being put in inhumane conditions. This notion of basic needs being met, and this philosophy of oftentimes you see people come across a situation where they deem it uncomfortable for them, but it's creating this inhumane moment for this other individual. And these people are human. These people live lives. These people have feelings and thoughts. They are something, whatever that may be for them. But at the end of the day, I think the conversation is, you are still something. And I think this film breaks that down. We get to see these individual stories. We get to see artwork that these individuals have made, and what life looks like within this realm.